What's more dangerous? Falling in life or living a life that was never truly yours.
What is dangerous is you not acknowledging that you have a beautiful face. Life in itself is a blessing. Not counting your blessing is a fault. That's a problem. Be grateful to whatever you have because what you have, there are so many who don't have.
In this generation, we are living a life designed by our society. So, do you think somewhere we are not living our own life, but a life designed by society?
That's very true. I'm also an inclusivity leader. I will share with you. I often struggle with people that they are trying to define normal for everyone. There is no normal, and everybody has their own normal. So the society and choose to lay some foundations.
True. Like from childhood, career, shadi, everything feels like a checklist. So when does this pressure actually begin?
So as a woman, if you read my first book, Guilt Trip, this starts from the day you are born. First thing your father, when he holds you in hand, says, Papa ki ladi, Papa's sister. Mama's best girl. Brother will say, my bestest sister. So the pressure of becoming the best is so high.
Why do you think लोग क्या कहेंगे still control so many of our decisions? We heard in our day-to-day life like चार लोग क्या कहेंगे. So why still it controls
But
so many
I
of our
have a
decisions?
very, but I have a very nice answer to your thing. लोग क्या कहेंगे कुछ तो लोग कहेंगे लोगों का. Like if someone is listening right now, stuck between their dreams and society's expectation, so what would you say to them? See, you have to carve your path within the society. But you know, the most beautiful thing about dream and most beautiful thing about you is you can keep dreaming. You can keep asking. First is very kind. I'll give you an analogy. I believe in. And you are asking the universe, say your faith, your spiritual guidance, whatever you call. I call it my God. If I'm asking like this, so I've already squeezed the blessing. इतना ही मिलेगा.
So, welcome to our new episode of Revolutionary Talk, featuring a truly revolutionary voice. Today's guest is not just an author, but a mother, a thinker, and a powerful observer of human emotion. She turns everyday experience into honest, relatable expression, blending empathy, humor, and a touch of Bollywood flair. Her words challenge societal norms and give voice to thoughts we often hesitate to say out loud. Let's welcome the incredible Dr. Rajni Tiwari. Welcome to our podcast, ma'am.
Thank you. That's very humbling. That's very nice and kind.
Okay, how are you, ma'am?
I am fantastic, grateful, just in a
Okay.
process of just absorbing all the love and affection.
So before we talk about society, I want to know about you. How did you choose to become a writer?
Well, me, I am a full time HR professional. I am
Yes.
somebody who is a full time writer, full time
Great.
mother, a full time spouse, multiple relationships, multiple hats. But I think the reason to excel or the reason to do it well and be happy is because it's all passion with purpose. The purpose of
Great.
doing justice to everything. At the same time, I don't strive for perfection every time, but I'm happy in the comfort space I am in right now. And yeah, so that's a little about me. Why did I choose to become a writer? Why did I choose to become a writer? Because I think I, on a day to day basis, I was absorbing a lot of experiences. And from my
Great.
childhood, I was always told that, when you have experiences around, when you have emotions around, don't bottle it up. You write it down. That's how my parents put in a habit of a daily diary. And I think those daily diary uh, conversations with my diary became memoirs to different work. I would not say everything which I have written may be purely fiction, purely
Great.
real, purely whichever ways. It's a blend of everything because obviously there is a writer's advantage and a writer's
Exactly.
creativity you use. So that's about me.
So you are performing so many roles at a one time.
Yeah, it's fun. One life,
It's fun.
too much
Exactly.
to do.
So was there a moment in your life when you writing found you? What did you find writing?
I think we kind of crossed paths with each other, both writing and me. Why I would say is because speaking emotions and talking about emotions and penning them down comes naturally to me, not because
literature student, but I also think that it was something else. I think writing finds you when you're very real to yourself, when there are no
Exactly.
frills around you. And
True.
I both of us kind of, it's a marriage of consensus with writing and me.
True. True. So when you started writing your first book, what were the biggest difficulties you faced?
It's not a difficulty, but like, yeah, discipline wise, a little time management with everything. And what
Well,
happens is your first work, you always feel that, it has to be the best. I think the
okay.
problem with most of us is we want to do the best every time. Best, and that best is not defined. So that was a difficulty. When I let loose and I realized that this is what it is, it may be best for me or may not be best for anybody else. The perception could be from their own perspective. I think that difficulty was overcome, but yeah, that is something. I never typically, a lot of people have asked me, did you face a writer's block, this that? No, 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 I didn't face, because I was very clear what I wanted to write. The only thing was I wanted to do it in a particular rhythm. I didn't want to do it
Okay.
technically. Today I will do one chapter. So there were days when I have done two paragraphs only and I just slept. Then there are days when I have written two chapters in a go. So it was just, I left it with life, like let it just flow in.
Okay. So it's my personal question to you. Like when we choose our passion, the biggest obstacle is time management. So as you are the writer, so what's your personal suggestion to those who wants to be a writer and wants to choose their passion?
See, if you want to choose your passion, if you want to make something out of what your passion is, then you really don't need any science around it. The only thing you need is
Mm.
consistency. And I always say
Exactly.
that somebody who's consistent shows sincerity, and sincerity is
Consistency
always
is the
rewarding.
consistency is the
Yeah,
key to success.
it is. It is. It's really, because if you think that one day I will write and one day I'll become
Mhm.
big, it doesn't become like that. You have to put
Exactly.
in effort.
So did you ever doubt yourself? Like, will people understand me? Will they judge me?
I have to really tell you this, because the people who know me, they know this very well. I'm somebody who doesn't seek validation. I don't
Okay.
seek
Mhm.
validation. I have given up that path very early in life, because the more and more you try and seek validation, you're trying to be somebody else, and you don't need to do that. And it's
True.
not necessary that what you're writing will be liked by all. It should be felt by all. If they felt it,
Absolutely.
somewhere they've liked it. But as human beings, we are at times very prejudiced to accept this hit me or this hurt me. So,
Okay.
I think that's the difference. So no
Great.
validation particularly.
That's wonderful. So let's move on our next question. Like being a mother, a leader, and a writer. Did you ever feel guilty while choosing one role over another?
No, no. I will give you an example. If
Yes.
there was once, my son had a potluck, and with work,
Mhm.
I had forgotten to add up stuff. What I did in the morning, I did a quick app and got something for him, packed and gave. I, and I kind of gave it there. So when he came back from school, he said that, these cookies were awesome. Everybody was talking about it because I don't really
Okay.
bake well. But I, at that point of time, I managed a meeting, I managed his emotion, and I managed the cookies. So I think the trick is that you can be there only at one point of time. If you want to be omnipresent, that's not going to happen. So the day you
Exactly. That's
realize,
impossible.
yeah, what's your priority for the day? I think that
Yes.
is the key. Because if you know what is your priority for the day, and your priority can actually move and change depending on situation. So
True.
one of my ex bosses taught me this. She used to ask me, it's urgent or important? And I would smile and say, maybe important. She's like, okay, then we can sit on it later because it's not urgent. So that's how people teach you. So I learned that very early in life, the difference between something urgent and important.
Wonderful. Like in this generation, we are living a life designed by our society. So, do you think somewhere we are not living our own life, but a life designed by society?
That's very true. I'm also a inclusivity leader. I will share with you.
Mm.
I often struggle with people that they are
Okay.
trying to define normal for everybody. There is no normal, and everybody has their own normal. So the
Absolutely.
society can choose to lay some foundations. See, it's not wrong or right. Everyone has their own right, right? So if the society says, I want to create this system, maybe they were trying to bring in order, but you getting trapped in that system, you have made the process bigger than you. The process has become a
Yes.
monster in itself. This happens in corporate also. People say that, this is how it should have been done. I should be working 9 to 6. Then why are you there at 6:30 if you
Absolutely.
were required 5 to 6? So, the thing is, there is no normal. And yet my normal is my normal. That can't be like your normal. So each one, when we start respecting others' normality, then the society can also be told this is what it is. Society may not have been at that point of time saying that, women may work. Now women are working. See, the normal is changing. The definition of normal is changing. But is it
Exactly.
accepted? Maybe by all. But is it relevant that it is accepted? Not really. As far as that your normal is not hurting anybody, you're
Absolutely.
good.
True. Like from childhood, marks, career, shadi, everything feels like a checklist. So when does this pressure actually begin?
So, as a woman, if you read my first book, Guilt Trip, this starts from the day you are born. The
Yes.
first thing your father, when he holds you in hand, says, Papa ki ladli, Papa's
Yes.
superstar, Mama's best daughter. Brother will say, my bestest sister. So, the pressure of becoming the best is so high. Then you feel that if you are concentrating on career, I started working early, and a lot of my college friends used to say that, you're missing out on these days. You're missing on the fun. So, then there is the pressure that my friends will not be my friends because I'm doing something else. So the checklist, it starts with your birth, and you have to define when did you want to stop checking the checklist. Fold
Absolutely.
it, keep it, and say, I am me. I am going to do this to the best of my ability without really giving my body a signal that you are not important. So once you draw that line, I think that is easy, but the checklist never ends. It never ends.
True. So why do you think log kya kahenge still controls so many of our decisions? Like we heard in our day to day life, like चार लोग क्या कहेंगे. So why still it controls
But
so many
I
of our
have a
decisions?
very, but I have a very nice answer to your thing. लोग क्या
Yes.
कहेंगे? कुछ तो लोग कहेंगे. लोगों का काम है कहना. So
बिल्कुल.
you should leave it to that, because it's not important what people will say. It is what is important is what are you hearing, how much are you absorbing. They will see. You see, in science we've been taught action
Mhm.
reaction. You don't react one, two, three, four times. The fifth time there is no action. Ignorance is a bliss. When you start ignoring these things, then actually it really doesn't make a difference ना कौन क्या कहेगा, क्या फर्क पड़ता है, because क्या कौन कह रहा है वो important है. See, we are in a very democratic country. The problem with democracy is everybody wants to say something. And if you
Exactly.
see, maybe a leader who's working his sweat out, but people will say, even somebody on the street will say, अरे इनको काम करना नहीं आता, देश चलाना नहीं आता. So when they don't spare them, who are we? So it's okay. It's okay.
True, true. So have you ever personally broken a societal norm and felt judged for it?
I I actually broke a lot of societal norms right from childhood. So, like from my childhood, I used to be because I was born in a joint family. I was always mostly with my brothers. Uh, so we are like a really big joint family. God bless.
Okay.
So I've been with a lot of boys. That made me comfortable. Today I have more boys who are my acquaintance friends than really how it is. I broke another societal norm by my husband is not my husband, he is my friend, and we space out. So I think that itself is such a big thing. But I think what you can break any societal norm as far as you are not disrespecting anybody. I
Exactly.
was very, I was very heavy. I was very obese at one point of time. But I did not want to lose weight to look beautiful. I wanted to lose weight to, be healthy. And I did it when I wanted to do it. Nobody could make me do it. So when I was married or getting married, I was pretty healthy. And my husband was very lean. So, because at the end of the day, it is who you are, not how
True.
you are. How you are will change over time, but who you are is what remains.
Exactly. At the end of the day, only matters who you are.
Yeah.
So next question is guilt something society gives us or something we create within ourselves?
My take is that society can give you names, pressure, but whether you want to make something out of it or make a guilt out of it is completely your choice. Society can't give you a guilt. Guilt is something which you will only reckon with. And if you have decided that this particular challenge is a guilt or this particular responsibility is a guilt, it's very self inducted. So, I would say that, like from my childhood, I see a lot of people, oh my God, I did it this way. But, was it supposed to be done this way? A lot of people think that because it's already defined in your head, it has to be done this way. So the guilt is, it's also, I think, commendable how parents today, kind of bring around their children, because a lot of people, I've been very blessed. My parents always taught me to be yourself, to kind of speak for your own self, and also a very golden rule, mind your own business. So rather than without really uh, thinking bad for somebody, you start only thinking your own good. Then I think the
Right.
scope and scenario of you getting any kind of guilt is less, because you are a little self-caringly selfish, because you are only thinking about your good, but you will in not any figment of your imagination do bad for anybody or think bad. So I think then that gets sorted. Sort your own circle types.
Wonderful. Actually, I have also experienced in my life that once you take it within yourself, it all starts within yourself.
Right, right. It's your journey, no? It has to be you. It can't be anybody, because whatever you are going through at whichever phase of your life, even in Buddhism, they say you always have a choice.
True.
You need to know which choice to exercise. You want to call it a guilt, you want to call it a responsibility. It's a mindset, it's a choice. And there is no situation in your life that you won't have a choice. You will always have a choice.
Okay, this question is especially for women. Uh, Career versus family, independence versus expectation. So why is that pressure double when we compare with man and a woman?
Just see, when a man goes out to work, he comes back home to a cooked meal. But when a woman goes out to work, she has to come back and cook a meal. The journey starts from there.
Okay.
When there is a boy who's famous, a man who's famous, you don't ask him, "Kaise kiya?" But if a girl is famous, if a woman is famous, the first question is, "How did you do it?" How? मतलब you're already doubting कि वो ये कर ही नहीं सकती थी, इसलिए आप पूछ रहे हो how did you do it? You didn't ask the boy. Look at it. In my corporate life also, I see when two boys or two men make a presentation, they will give a good high five, knuckle fist, when they come out. But when a woman is presenting, if she is the only woman, I'll tell you two scenarios. Then everybody's eyes are rolling. आज तो बहुत समझदारी कैसे? And the second thing is that if there is another woman, she'll be thinking, why does she need to be so loud? Why does she need to say so much? And I have experienced this, that when a man raises their voice, it's aggression. When a woman cries, it's weakness. Why? Both are emoting. So there are norms, there are the ways we have defined our society. What is right, what is wrong, I don't know. But I think any society should have space for anybody. A human body, चाहे वो एक plant है, if that is an animal, if it is a human being, irrespective of gender. Everybody needs respect of space.
Exactly, everybody. So, do you think social media has made this checklist even worse? Like, like we are scrolling so
Social
much social media
media.
nowadays.
Yeah. So social media has, social media has put us in an app mode. Every time you're thinking you're getting through an upgrade,
Mhm.
and it's not happening. Every time you see somebody's post and they look happy, you're judging. सच में इतने खुश हैं या सोशल मीडिया पे डाल रहे हैं? Every time you think, you're clicking a picture, you're not capturing a moment. You're calculating how many likes you will get.
Absolutely.
So social media puts that pressure on you. I think the beautiful thing is, I'll tell you, there was one video on my Insta, which is a poem of mine, and it had more than 25,000, 25, 27,000 views or likes. I didn't know till at least 20 people told me that it had so many likes. I put up stuff at me social media for creating my own library, what I want to tell to my readers. I never judge it that so many people should see. The idea definitely is that it should reach, but how can you judge that so many should like? Everybody cannot like everybody's work. It's okay. It's
Exactly.
okay.
Nowadays, people, I think people judge on the basis of social media nowadays.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I will tell you, it was a very famous publisher. They told me
Okay.
that you don't want to put up this on social media. I was like, no, no. I like because the more you are weighed against your social media image, it's not bad. It's not
Mhm.
bad,
True.
but it puts a pressure, negative pressure, because then you are trying to become something which is more saleable than yourself.
Mhm.
I want to be saleable or heardable or readable being myself. If I have to compromise on myself, then what's the point?
Exactly. So, is following society always wrong, or do we sometimes need that structure?
Structure is good. Structure gives you a method to the madness, but the structure cannot become the madness. I'm very clear
Mhm.
on that. So it's good to have a structure, it's good to have an alignment. It helps everybody. See, there are two, three types of people. One
Mhm.
who knows what I want. There are some who know what they don't want, but they don't know what they want. And there is a third category who don't know what they want, who don't know what they don't want. Structure helps them, and that is the major population. So structure is not bad, but structure should not be made by compromising value principles for other people. So you
True.
cannot have different treatment for people segmented on communities or whatever. You can have different treatment for different human because every human is unique, but it should not be slotted in a box that if you follow, say for example, this faith, then you are like this. If you follow this, oh, you come from that part of the city. So many people have told me, अरे आप दिल्ली से हैं, आपके बोलने से ही समझ आ गया. कैसे समझ आ जाता है यार? मुझसे आज तक भी नहीं समझ आया. So maybe that because now I'm in Mumbai for over 2 decades. I love both Delhi and Mumbai. Both are my heart and soul. You can't choose. Can you function without
But
one?
have their own vibes.
Yeah, both have their own lives. And I'll tell you what, the joke of life is when you're with your family, you really don't care which city you are in
Exactly.
because you're
That's
just with
true.
people who matter. So for me,
True.
I've not been able to thrash out a difference. The only difference is I feel that when I moved, at that nimble age when I moved with my family to Mumbai, I feel that Mumbai as a city is very generous. It has work for everybody. If you have a desire to work, it has work for you. And Delhi is very spaced. They don't care. They don't care who is what because everybody thinks they are a big shot. So it's okay. I think that's also good because you're not getting intimidated by people. And in Mumbai, you don't have time to get intimidated by people. So it's okay.
Like my hometown is in Meerut, Uttar Pradesh. So when I went out alone, I didn't feel good there because hometown is always a hometown. But when I go with my family, I always feel that it's good to be there. To
Meerut is
test
a
it
very,
out.
very, yeah, Meerut is a very special city for me also because I had done a lot of competitive exams there. वहीं पे
Okay.
सेंटर आता था. Meerut has a very beautiful charm to it. Meerut
Exactly.
में कोई भी गलत नहीं है. सब लोग सही है. I like that vibe of that city. सब कोई सही है. So you could do तो जजिंग की बात ही नहीं है. मतलब आप गाड़ी चला रहे हैं तो आपने ठोका उसने ठोका सब सही है. So it's, and I think that is what it should be, na. I mean, why to judge who's wrong, or why to
Bilkul.
judge that you're right? Each one is own. Live and let live. Life should be like that.
True. So, what's more dangerous, falling in life or living a life that was never truly yours?
What is dangerous is you not acknowledging that you have a beautiful life. Life in itself is a blessing.
True.
Not counting your blessing is a fault. That's a problem. Be grateful to whatever you have, because what you have, there are so many who don't have. And comparison won't help. So I start my day with a lot of gratitude. I live through all the gratitude throughout the day, and I close the day by saying that it was a beautiful day. If it was hard, it taught. If it was easy, it was breezy. And if it was the way it was, I look forward to a new one.
Okay. So, do you think people today are brave enough to choose themselves? Actually, this is my personal question.
Yeah? Should tell me. So people are,
Uh, do you think people today are brave enough to choose themselves? Like you are the brave enough to choose yourself?
see, it needs brevity. It definitely needs brevity. But I think more than brevity, it needs to come to peace with yourself. You have to decide what is the value of peace in your life. So my ego is not bigger than my inner peace.
Hmm.
My self respect is very important, but can it compensate for my inner peace? No. For me, peace is most valuable. And whatever price you pay for peace is less because it is so valuable. So peace is very, very important. It's actually the most important. You're peaceful, you're at peace with yourself. You will not make war with anybody.
Absolutely. Like if someone is listening right now, stuck between their dreams and society's expectation, so what would you say to them?
So you have to carve your path within the society. But the most beautiful thing about dream and the most beautiful thing about you is you can keep dreaming. You can keep
Mm.
asking. The universe is very kind. I'll give you an analogy I believe in. When you are asking the universe, say your faith, your spiritual guidance, whatever you call, I call it my God. If I'm asking like this, so I've already squeezed the blessing. इतना ही मिलेगा. Universe is very abundant.
True.
Don't put a limitation. And this happens in relationship also. If I have so much love to give you and you have, your love, your capacity is a jug full, you can take a jug full, baki to giri jayega na, mera waste ho jayega.
Very
So
good.
why? So keep asking for more. My mother has taught me that God will keep giving you more and more and more. The more you
Wonderful.
ask, the more he gives. So kind.
One of my father's friends says to me that uh, अपने client से और ऊपर वाले से ask as much as you can.
Yeah.
No one knows when he'll accept it.
So the beautiful thing about asking is you can keep asking. Even at work, I say, ask. It'll be a yes or a no. At least you'll not
Yes.
live with guilt that I didn't ask. If I would have asked, I don't like the ifs in life. If I would have thought, if I would have liked, if I would have done this. No. Try it out of everything. यही एक जिंदगी है, सब ट्राई कर लो, क्या फर्क पड़ता है.
True. That's so true. Okay, one last question, and it's a very important question for all of us. One line that can free someone from "log kya kahenge" forever.
So one line I follow very closely to my heart. It's actually a little longish line. I'll tell you. If you can't say good, don't say
Mhm.
at all. If you can't do good, don't do at all. And I follow this principle for life. So
Great.
the journey from you being yourself and being good for yourself
Mhm.
without hurting anyone is just so impressible that you don't need to worry about what people will say. And whenever you think in your mind that, kya log kya kahenge, log kya kahenge, just hum. It's a blessing we are blessed in India. We are blessed with Kishore Kumar's voice. Just hear that, kuch to log kahenge, logon ka kaam hai कहना.
बिल्कुल.
Don't waste your
लोगों
life.
का काम है कहना.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much for the wonderful to give us your time, your valuable time.